Okay, we're going to talk about 3-5 parallel and perpendicular equations of lines. First of all, there's a couple things we need to know about parallel and perpendicular equations. First of all, most of our equations are written in the form of slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. With that, my slope is my m, and it sits right before the x, and my y-intercept is the b. Second thing we need to remember, back from the beginning of this unit, a parallel slope is the same slope. That means if my slope equals 1/2, my parallel slope equals 1/2. Then the second thing we need to know is that if I have a perpendicular slope, it is a negative reciprocal, which means that if my slope was 1/2, then my perpendicular slope was negative and then the reciprocal, which then just simplifies to -2. That's the first thing we need to recall. The second thing we need to recall is when we're talking about equations of lines, there's a, or I call it a hub. It's not really, it's called point-slope form. Point-slope form is a way that helps us get to slope-intercept form when we're writing an equation. If I'm given a point and I'm given a slope, then I can write an equation in point-slope form. So first, let's talk about what point-slope form looks like. Point-slope form is the equation that says y minus the first y, or the only y in the equation, equals their slope times x minus the x in the ordered pair, where your slope is your m and the x1, y1 is just the ordered pair that's given. So as an example, let's just say I gave you that we have a slope of 2 and I have an ordered pair of 3, 1. This is my x1, this is my y1, just because I have one ordered pair. The little 1 on the x just means, hey, first ordered pair. The y on the one on the y just says, hey, the first ordered pair. If I had other ordered pairs, then I have like an x2, y2, or an x3, y3. It's just identifying which ordered pair you're talking about. Nothing fancy. So with this 2 bits of information, we can use something called point-slope form. I have a point, I have a slope, I've got point-slope form. So therefore, I can take this information and say, okay, y minus, and then of course we had our y1, equals my slope times x minus x1. That's called point-slope form. There's really nothing you're going to do with point-slope form besides submerge the information into it. Now that the information is into it, I can take this information and I can rearrange my equation to slope-intercept form, which means I want to solve for y. Which means then here, I would distribute the 2. Then I would just bring the 1 to the other side. So my equation that is a slope of 2 and goes through the point 3, 1 is y equals 2x minus 5. So why is this information important? When we're talking about the parallel and perpendicular worksheet, you're basically writing equations of lines using this information, but you're going to have to identify, one, if my slope is parallel or perpendicular, what it is, and then rewrite my equation. So here, move on to the next page. Sorry, add another page. On the one you specifically asked about, number 3,